This is your quick guide to Unit 42, Design for Advertising. Now, as you'd expect, the whole unit is all about advertising design, and in particular, it's looking at how graphic images, creative typography, and your chosen media are used to communicate a message to an audience. Usually with advertising, there's a strong call to action, or at least a desired outcome that can be measured, and really what you're trying to do is create persuasive design. So really what you're going to be doing is focusing heavily on your visual communication aspect when you're annotating your work. So looking at how designers have used colour, composition, size, typography, image and media. So really thinking about it, if you go back to your old projects, you're going to need to be going and having a look at your visual communication sessions to help you annotate your work and cover those elements of design. So things like communication as a process, semiotics, polysemy and anchorage, associations, denotation and connotation. Now, by the end of the assessment date, you need to prove that you can understand the issues in design for advertising, create and develop ideas in response to advertising briefs, present design solutions, right? 3 things you need to do, which are your unit outcomes. So understanding issues in design is basically talking about advertising design. Create and develop ideas in response to advertising briefs is basically design development ideas and design development. And 3, present your design solutions. And you will be presenting your designs when you submit your final work. So let's jump into the grading criteria. Let's look first at Pass 1, Merit 1 and Distinction 1. Basically, Pass 1, Merit 1 and Distinction 1 is all about research. You need to, for Pass 1, annotate a wide variety of examples of advertising design. For the merit, you need to then compare the advertising design and the methods that have been used, so looking at your visual communication stuff, using that to actually annotate the work that you're looking at. And for the distinction, you then need to develop an original and exciting final design. So using the research that you've done and the idea generation to create a really good final. So basically, for you to be able to discuss a broad range of advertising designs, I've actually set you some research tasks already. So one of the tasks that we covered was the 10 principles of successful advertising, and you were asked to create at least 2 examples of annotation for each example of the principle. We also looked at advertising templates, and there's 6 advertising templates, and again it was a minimum of 2 examples for each of those. So just from those you're going to have at least 20 examples of advertising. Now if you use your semiotics and your connotation and denotation while you're writing those, that's going to pick you up more marks and move you towards the distinction, as long as you've got a good final. So let's go back to the grading criteria. For Pass 2, review opportunities, constraints and communication issues. Basically that is research again, and it's your visual communication again. So specifically looking at advertising, but how are the messages being communicated? So communication as a process, semiotics, polysemy and anchorage, and denotation and connotation. Make sure that gets in your research. Then for Pass 3, Merit 2 and Distinction 2. So Pass 3, produce and develop original ideas in response to briefs. Merit 2, originate and develop individual and diverse ideas. And Distinction 2, develop, evaluate, present sophisticated, innovative solutions. So what do we mean? Basically, Pass 3, Merit 2 and Distinction 2 is design development. You need to produce a range of ideas for the brief for Pass 3. For Merit 2, it needs to be a variety of original ideas, so coming up with some new stuff. So you could use the scamper technique that we've looked at before, your lotus blossom, random word generation and linking. And for Distinction 2, you need to develop and evaluate your work and produce a sophisticated final design. You need to do a final project evaluation. For Pass 4, review production and development work, and Merit 3, coherently analyse and present effective design solutions. Basically, for Pass 4 and Merit 3, it's more design development, and you need to annotate your own ideas. what's working and what isn't. That's how you evaluate something. What is good, what is bad about your own work. And merit 2, analyse your work in depth using semiotics, denotation and connotation, and your final project evaluation. So how you're annotating the work of designers is how you need to annotate your own design ideas, not just your final. And then you will produce an effective final design and a final project evaluation. So now we're down to pass 5, present own final outcomes. Basically, you've done it. If you fill out all the rest of it, how can you not get that pass? Because you will have produced your work on time. That, my friends, is your quick guide to Unit 42, Design for Advertising.